Okay, so we got it fed through. So an easier way to do this is just not to put tape on it and just feed it through.
And so what happened to the tracer wires that we were going to use? What happened to those, Skylar?
Oh, so yeah, so we basically started pulling these through. We just taped it, thinking, oh, maybe it'll be easier. And what ended up happening is we had all this tape on there, and it just was binding up there. Basically, right here is where the wires feed through, and it's just thick enough to fit wires without tape on there. So ideally is don't put tape on it, and just be careful when you yank it through. Because we still have some tape on here because we didn't cut it all off, but it would have been so much easier just not to do that. So we're going to finish pulling this through.
So maybe the trick is put a little bit of tape on it in like the pinch point, but otherwise don't bother with tape.
Exactly.
Okay, and it didn't fray the wires at all or anything?
Nope.
Cool. So it works just fine. We're getting her placed in now.
So what we're going to do now. And we also unbolted this. You don't have to do that, but it makes it a lot easier. Because you can see what you're doing. There's right there's a hole in the steering column. And that's where it comes through. So when you unbolt this, it makes it a lot easier to see because they have this black shroud that sits right there. And, well, it makes it difficult to see through here. So we highly recommend taking these two bolts out. Drop the steering down a little bit. You can kind of see what you're doing down here. So.
Oh, okay.
Now we're going to finish this up.
What's happening here? We got a day to dump it, man. So what I'm hearing is we're a little too focused on the videotaping and not too much on the working.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
It usually helps when you know what you're doing and you don't screw up as much.
So just so y'all know, we're sitting at an empty parking lot. It was right down the road from a couple places here. So we chose this spot because, well, as you can see, there's nobody in sight.
Alright, so we're back.
Hey, we're back. Woo!
We just went live, so don't know if anybody's actually watching this, but we got this pretty much set up. Where'd those? I'll let you do it since you took it apart. It's Tyler's coming in to do his duty.
All right. So now we got to put this guy back on. Let's see. How do we put him on? I think it was like that. Yeah, that looks about right. Oh, this seems sketchy with this really flimsy plastic, man. I don't know how I like this. Oh, come on. Get in there. Not like that. Maybe like that. Oh, I see. Okay, I got it now. Cool. Pictures are always your friend, by the way, people. I say that a lot, but it's very true. Okay, there we go. Got it. Oh, man. Yeah, so I did a little video when I left Napa.
They're closed. That's why we're here.
Yeah, right? There we go. Okay. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, I told you it was just because it didn't have a stock on it. Is it actually all the way in there, though?
Well, I mean, it's in there. It's not super secure. Thought I saw somebody up there. But yeah, I mean, you can hear it.
Yeah, it's working.
So that's nice. Nice to see it actually
working. I think the fact that this isn't in the bearing anymore is probably why that's so wobbly.
Yeah, I think new bearings are in order there.
Yeah.
Okay. Tighten all that down. So with this, when you're doing it, you want to put that stock in and turn it when you're doing a top and bottom screw of those things. Otherwise, you'll break these tabs off and you've just negated everything you've just done. So, don't break those tabs off. Otherwise, you'll not have a fun day. Okay, so that's in there. This guy goes in. Just like that. Alright, so how does this go in? It's gotta have a way of doing it. Okay, I see. Oh, maybe. So what's that for? So there's a knob on the back side, but
this connects to this, I thought.
Well, that's what I thought too. But
Oh,
if
you know
look
what?
at it,
No, this right here lines up with that.
what's?
The horn switch, remember?
Yeah, but I don't see what makes a contact at. That'd really suck. Oh, I see.
What?
So I think the whole steering wheel goes down a little bit. Oh, I see. So check this out. This is your turn signal canceler. I think we're okay on it now. Yep. Hey, and now I can center up my steering wheel. That's kind of nice.
Here, I'll hold it. You want to crank it down?
I don't know if it goes down anymore. It got pretty tight there.
Oh, okay.
But maybe that's why. Look at that. That doesn't seem right, does that?
Was there that big gap there before?
I don't remember that being that big of a gap. I remember a gap, but not that big of a gap.
Maybe it's not down all the way then?
Just tightened up the steering stem nut. Alright, easy enough. So now he's,
Well, I screwed up.
you gotta put that on before you put those bolts in, don't you?
Alright, so, let's see. We just gotta put the spring back on?
Yeah, so we gotta put the spring and the cap on, wherever that one, there it is.
So the spring just goes on there? Yeah.
Okay. Push that on, make sure the Ford logo is straight on.
It is, don't worry.
Okay.
And then turn to the right.
Yep, turn to the right. It's just gonna turn half a thing.
It's not perfect though.
It's not perfect, but whatever.
Close enough. I guess he's out of here, so.
We're gonna be redoing this. We're gonna replace the steering wheel anyways, so it's whatever.
Clean up our mess we have going on here.
Yeah, always keep a clean space, guys. We are not those guys, but it helps. Trust me, it does.
So now that we have all that done, we get to do the fun part of the wiring.
So now we take that tape back off, and Skylar's gonna work his magic here.
Okay.
If there's magic to be had. At least with this wiring system, there is.
All right. Got these. We'll do the easy one first.
Yeah.
Which is this? Okay, so we got. Hopefully the wiring is the same color on this. Oh, it is. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things. So guys, when you're doing this, make sure you get a turn signal switch that has same colors, because that'll make your life so much easier when looking at wiring diagrams and like what he's doing, pulling wires out right now.
Or attempting to.
Yeah, you might have to just break them off and then yank them out. That's what some people do.
Alright, so we're in here trying to pull these connectors out, and Tyler's got a tip for us.
So on these connectors, what some people do, I'm going to use a knife to point at it, but right inside there, this little guy here, is a little lock mechanism. You see how I'm bending that tab out right there?
Yeah.
So that's a little lock mechanism, but what some of these do so that they don't pull through is they have another one of those on the backside so that it doesn't pull through. And so what you can do is, if you don't have the proper wire puller or whatever, and you don't want to destroy your plug like us, because I've heard these are really hard to find, you pull it out enough, you bend that tab back in, or you just break that tab off, one of those two. I think I've got it bent in enough, and then you can should be able to just push it out the way it came in theory. Now if it works, then I'll be surprised. We totally don't have the right tools for this. Let's see if we can get that tab on the inside to break off. Nope, just got the metal to break. That's a nice one.
I should use the screwdriver that's sitting right here. Maybe that'll be a little safer to use.
Yeah, maybe a screwdriver is a smart idea. Even though we don't have many smart ideas on this channel. Next time we will totally get the right tools. There we go.
Got it out?
Got her out.
Nice.
Yep. So these little guys right here, you see those little, right in front of my fingernail?
Yep.
Yeah, those little guys, those are what locks it in on the backside to avoid it coming through. So that's why it's so hard to get out of there. There we go.
So I'm going to put a mark on the side that has the you know, the stripe. I know what this mark means, but make a mark so you can figure out which side does what. And you can also compare it to the old one and you figure out which wires aren't going to go in there. But you want to make sure that you get the right ones in there. So what I'm doing is making the mark where it has the green and with the orange stripe. You can do it however way you want, just make sure you figure it out.